Hi, hello, and welcome, or welcome back, I suppose. My face again, as I said last week. We're looking at my little manga collection, because in terms of things that I haven't read, well, I have now, but in terms of things that I hadn't read, this is it. I don't have a huge amount on my shelf in general. A lot of the stuff I read is from the library. Thank you for falling off my desk. So this is about it from what I've got. I think I might have even got these on the same day. I definitely got a couple of them on the same day because they were on offer at Travelling Man. So the first one I got is Adults Picture Book, Volume 1 by Kei Ito. Next up we have I Want to Be a Wall by Honomi Shirono. Put that down. And last up we have My Dress Up Darling by Shinichi Fukuda, and God knows I have some fucking opinions on that. Jesus Christ. Let's start with Adults Picture Book, in which I'm not great with remembering names, so you'll have to forgive me for checking this sort of thing. But we have Kudo, who is your man here. His friend passes away, and in that he starts to look after his 4-year-old daughter, Kiki. And he is not really ready for this, and kind of on a whim, he proposes to someone, a complete stranger, and they decide to get married and raise this child together. And as you progress through the book, it becomes very clear that not only has he chosen this woman because she looks so much like his late friend, but it is very clear that he has some latent feelings for his late friend. It's one of those things where he's saying it's not even about being into men, being into women, being into whoever. It's about him, and I can't have that anymore. And it's very tragic, but also it is very fun in a lot of ways. What's the word? No. Like the thing with it of like picking somebody at random to just start marrying and raising a child with is a little bit mad, but it is kept beyond that. It's kept really grounded, which I really like, because it is, of course, daft and silly to do something like that. I did have a couple of moments in the early goings where the way they sort of did the childish speak with Kiki was a bit much. It didn't feel in any way realistic. It felt like an adult writing a child rather than an adult who knows children. But the rest was great. I just thought it was fun. I can definitely see myself reading more from this. I imagine the further we go on in the series, the more heartbreak we'd get, because that thing of he's kind of not only in a lavender marriage, sort of, but it's also just a case of he can't even have an opportunity to be with his old friend. It's not like his friend left. He's no longer in this world. They've buried him. So it's really fucking sad. And I know that future volumes would end up making that a lot more. Jesus Christ. But Kiki is very cute. Beyond the, like, not great, but way they did the babyish speak at the start, she's very fun. I can't remember her name as well now. Fusako, the new mother, as it were, she turns to Kiki and goes, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And she just looks at her very intensely with these big round eyes and just goes, "I want to be a pterodon." And I'm like, hell yeah, kid, you go up. And I was about to say, go and be a dinosaur, but I don't think pterodon's technically a dinosaur. But yeah, I also usually take my glasses off because you get a lot of glare, but I don't care today. And I really like the the art style in general, but especially with like the very round, cutesy sort of way that Kiki is drawn. It's very charming, and it makes you feel all warm and squishy. And sometimes you just want to feel all warm and squishy. I then got to I Want to Be a Wall, which again is by Honomi Shirono, which follows. Do we have the names on the back? No. not going to have names for this one, but we have our female lead who is in. Nope, there she is. Who's entirely asexual, aromantic, and the only thing that interests her really in that sort of realm is reading boy love manga. And then we have our fella here who is a gay man with very closely held secret feelings towards his lifelong best friend who is straight. They decide that the best thing for them to do is to marry one another. And it's very sweet. My one criticism is that premise, where it's asexual girl, gay man, have married each other. It gets brought up a lot, and I don't really think there's much of a need for it. Now, I do wonder if that's because I'm reading this as a volume rather than in weekly issues. That can sometimes make a difference. I've said that before with a lot of serialized books like volumes, regular prose, that kind of thing. When you read the actual book, you will occasionally get a little bit. Still don't know why it does that. You will occasionally get these little bits of backfill because your audience hasn't been reading that for a week and they might have been reading other things. They've had a life, that kind of thing. So there is a bit of backfill, but it's also the premise. Premise is the word I was trying to fucking think of for the other book. Anyway, it's also the main premise. So it's not like a bit of plot that is being backfilled, but outside of that, I really liked their dynamic, and again, I could definitely see myself reading more of this. I'm not going to be rushing to read any more of these two, but if I was in a shop and I was like, oh yeah, that's there, I could get another volume of that, I probably would, because I really like their dynamic, and as they start to open up to one another, it's very wholesome, it's very sweet, and I really like the two of them trying to appear as a proper husband and wife. And he has like a book of how to be a good husband and that kind of thing, and they're trying to be very sort of proper spouses to one another. It's fun and it's sweet, and again, it's very charming. It also has one of my favourite sort of general manga features in it. So you can see the art style in the front cover. Now it's black and white on the inside, but you can still see the art style here. It's very soft and gentle and sweet, and I love when you get books like that that are genuinely with more sort of, generally rather, with more soft styles that then make the characters do faces like this. I love that. That's one of my favourite things. I love that so much. There was the romance book that I read a while ago, and I can't remember what it's called, and that's really annoying me because I really liked. I've read the first 2 volumes of that. Fuck. Especially as like isekai'd into the world of that little goblin pixie creature trying to make her get a boyfriend, and she's like in a parody of a shoujo romance kind of thing. That one. They do that a lot in there, and I love it. But let's get on to what I read last, and that is My Dress Up Darling. I want to be clear. This book would be fine if all of the characters were 18 plus. This follows a young guy who's 15. All the characters that are like the main protagonists in this are 15. He really wants to follow in his grandfather's footsteps of making, I can't remember what it's like a specific kind of doll. Jesus Christ. Sorry, it's like really egregious. Hina dolls. His grandfather makes the clothes for them and he paints them, and this young boy, he's got to grips really well with the cloth making, but he hasn't got to grips yet with the painting. He's not bad at it, but he hasn't mastered it. And one day, our lass here walks in on your man doing some sewing in an after school thing. And she's like, oh my god, I do cosplay. And she's like really intense and she's strange about it. And she wants him to start doing cosplay. And they do end up working together. You know, they're like an unlikely pairing kind of thing, and all of that would be fine. They kind of play off each other. There are a couple lines in it that I actually thought was funny. Like, there's a point where they're measuring each other, and she's like, there's like a distance between certain points on her chest, and there's a joke that's like, oh, I wonder where they could be, because he's like being really awkward about it. And it could be funny, except she's 15, and we get a bunch of upskirt shots of her, seeing her ass, seeing like a very pronounced outline of her genitals. There's a lot of like boob shots. The opening page, and I don't want to show this because it's gross, but the opening page is this. I won't fucking make you look at that for long. And I was just like, this all seems like a fun premise. They could have been in university or college or whatever like that. They could have been 18 and nothing would have really been changed, because their dynamic could have been exactly the same. They could have been at a sort of arts college kind of thing, where it's more likely to walk into somewhere where there's like a sewing room or whatever, and she bumps into him. But no, we have to have them be teenagers in high school and be 15 and have gross shots sexualizing a 15-year-old. And I'm like, you could have written a good story and not been a weird pedo. No, I'm not accusing the author and artist here of being an actual nonce. I am saying he's fucking weird, though. I don't know. Whoever they are, weird. Fucking weird. I do not understand why that's something you went, I know what I should do today. I should draw a 15-year-old like she's a fucking Victoria's Secret model with massive bazongas and a very detailed sort of through her underwear shot of her bits. Oh, it's gross. And it could have been good, but it's made me very uncomfortable. I think one of my notes was literally like, I should burn this after reading it. I don't want to look at it anymore. And it's a shame, because I've actually been looking forward to it. Like, I knew the characters weren't adults. I knew they were in high school going in, but I didn't know about the egregious nature of the sexual aspect. And I understand why somebody would want to read that book for that book, but at the same time, it's so sexual, and I feel like a majority of people who want to read that are reading it because it's sexual, and I'm just like, ew. So yeah, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, I guess, but if anybody wants to join me at the bonfire, fucking hell. So, next week, we'll probably be back to our usual form of UC art. I do voiceover. And we will be doing Earthlings by Sayaka Murata. Hopefully that'll be next week anyway. Life has been very busy recently. This was meant to be done in like a full day. And it's Thursday now, fun fact. I'm doing this all the day before. This was meant to be done on Tuesday, but it wasn't, 'cause this week has been a nightmare. But in good news, I've got a curry slow cooking downstairs, and I'm very excited for it. It's got all sorts of veggies in it, it's got lentils in it, it's got chicken in it, vegetarian. That made me sound like one of those, like, I'm this because it's not moral, it's just because I have horrible things with textures. But yeah, maybe things are looking up. Maybe I'll have this curry and things can start looking up. And I've got a good book coming next week. And I think a lot of my stuff coming up is library books, because I want to get them finished, because I don't want to have to keep renewing them. Also because they might end up getting requested. So anyway, let me know if you've ever had any shocks like that, where you're like, hey, listen, I know this might be some, like, there might be some weird stuff in here, and suddenly it's like, oh, this is not what I wanted. Like, if I know, I've never read it myself because I know about this, and it's one of the reasons I won't read it. But I know a lot of people who read it for the first time who are suddenly like, hey, all of these children are having sex in a fucking sewer. Why do we have a child orgy in this weird clown book? Hello? Yeah, if you've ever had any shocks like that, please do let me know, because I need to feel like I'm not alone in whatever the fuck that was. But if you also have anything that would be like that story-wise, but with adults, like a sort of unlikely duo kind of thing, maybe with a nerdy edge to it, because like that's the whole thing with the cosplay, that isn't just porn, because that does feel like what that is. And then I guess that's probably kind of lolly, I guess. I'm not getting into all of that. Or just let me know something nice that you've done today and to make me feel better about having read that fucking book. Also, feel free to like, feel free to subscribe, feel free to ring the notification bell, or the cringe shit I'm supposed to ask you to do. But most importantly, I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful night, a wonderful whenever you are watching this. Take good care of yourself. Right.